After the conquest of Central Asia, a normal man would have thought of resting.
Alexander, please.
But he was no normal man. For him, peace was only a pause between two conquests. We had rested, but that rest was only a short dream before a new nightmare began. Conus's words were the voice of all of us. Every scar on our bodies was a testimony.
My friends,
Information was
we
the
have
first
rested
weapon.
long enough.
The game had
To the
begun.
east,
The challenge
ancient,
now was not
wealthy
man,
land
but
awaits.
nature itself,
Alexandros,
angry.
the soldiers have
That
been away
night,
from
the
home
river
for
took
nearly
our
a decade.
brothers, and then the
Their
wolves
armies,
were released.
their
The
spirits,
Ukrainians, well, his army was broken. Their king stood firm like a tower. He fought like a besieged lion, to the last man, and Alexander saw it all. We had won, but it was a victory that came at a terrible price. After witnessing his extraordinary courage, Alexander no longer saw him as an enemy. After the Battle of the Hydaspes, instead of returning in glory, he wanted to go even further, to the Ganges, to the ends of the world. But the world had more than enemies. It had endless rains and weary
This
souls.
was the first weapon
We had
improved.
nothing left to give. Our armor was rusty,
Treacherous.
our weapons
You will be a
worn,
false
and
hound.
our souls
Hold
were
Porus'
broken.
attention here.
Every day, the distance to home seemed farther, not closer. Our hope was dying. They came to Conus, the most loyal and respected. They placed the burden of an entire army on his shoulders. He tried. He used all his eloquence to rekindle the fire within us, but the ashes would not burn. And then a voice was heard, not to praise, but to plead. Each of Conus's words was a spear to Alexander's pride. He did not argue. He did not threaten. He simply refused to accept reality. For 3 days he locked himself away. Not even Hephaestion could sway him. When the will of men was unyielding, he sought a higher power. And so, he had his answer. He had not lost to his men. He and they had both submitted to the will of heaven. And when he emerged, we knew the man we had followed had changed. The fire within him had not died. It had merely transformed into a different, darker energy. I still remember the look in his eyes that day. No longer the look of a conqueror, but of a man who had seen his own end. Something inside him had quietly broken. No one dared to say it, but we all felt it. Every night by the flickering fire, we recounted the battles, the friends we had lost, their names: Lysimachus, Perdiccas, Diodotus, comrades in ours, were now only echoes in our memories. We grew old not because of the years, but because of every step in the mud, every cry on the battlefield, every dream choked by blood and smoke. Sometimes I wondered, were we also part of his fanaticism? We cheered, we were loyal, we killed in his name. And when he wanted to stop, it was too late. Alexander was not just a king, he was destiny. But destiny, no matter how glorious, cannot transcend the limits of humanity. On the banks of the Hyphasis, I saw the last light in his eyes go out. Not because of fear or defeat,
Every day,
but because
the
of
distance to
absolute
home seemed to grow
loneliness.
longer,
We had been with
not
him for
shorter.
nearly a decade, but in that moment, he had never been so far away from us. During the 3 days he hid in his tent, it rained continuously. Every drop was a whisper from the sky that the journey had come to an end. When he came out announcing his return, there were sighs of relief and red eyes, not of joy, but of the end. Because the shadow of a great man for too long can make others forget what light is. We began our journey back, no longer invincible soldiers, but broken souls, carrying the question, what had we come so far to find? Alexander never spoke of returning. He was quieter, his eyes fixed on the horizon, as if he still saw something we could not see. Maybe it was the future, maybe it was the past. As for me, I only saw the weariness of someone who had gone too far. And when he died in the palace of Babylon, not on horseback, not in the middle of a battle, I understood he had lost to no one but himself. On the day of his funeral, I did not cry, I wrote, because he deserved to be remembered, not as someone who could not be defeated, but as someone who had gone further than anyone else, and who had paid with his soul.
Alexandros, they love you more than their own lives. They can go no further. They are only men. Bring me the priests. We will ask the gods. My king, the omens are unfavorable. The gods do not support crossing the river. The gods have spoken. We turn back.